Quilting a painting with Margaret Abramsky. The first question you might ask is, why would I do this? At first, it was to save the cost of shipping and framing. I soon discovered that collectors enjoyed this tapestry-like painting hanging in their homes. Step one is to iron a fusible batting onto the back of the painting. I am using Pelon fusible fleece with a fairly hot iron, making sure that all of the batting is well attached to the back. I'll peel off the paper and then I'll have a very good substrate that I can use when I take it to my midarm quilting machine. Quilting on a midarm. Now that I've got the substrate, I'm going to start in the middle of the painting. First step is needle down and pulling up the bobbin thread. As I begin to stitch, I'm working somewhat in the center. I don't have any particular pattern. I'm reacting to what I see below the needle, moving gently across the surface. It's a kind of contour drawing. I'm able to change directions and colors depending on where I'm working. This creates a really interesting surface texture. Quilting facial features. I'm using a thread that is variegated and appears to be soft skin tones. My stitches are close together, and I move across the contours of the face, not outlining, but filling in the features. It's a slow process, but the effect is really dynamic. It takes a little practice, and you have to be a little bit brave, but it's certainly worth it. Background motifs. These are patterns that are used frequently in traditional quilting. I use them in the background. It adds just a bit of whimsy behind that smiling face. It works really well, especially to add a lot of visual interest that someone may not see at a distance, but when you're walking closer, it's kind of an aha moment for the viewer. These, again, take a little practice, but it's super fun and a great way to add some pattern. A little trick I use when finishing off toward the edge of my piece is that the weight of the other half of the piece tends to pull. So what I do is I fold and roll the part that I'm not working on. And this makes it much easier for my needle to move smoothly over the surface. Ironing. It's something I do along the way. Anytime I see some sort of bubbling or rippling as a result of heavily stitching the surface, I take the piece from under the needle and I bring it over to my ironing board and I give it an iron on high, medium, and get that surface nice and flat again. Drawing with a needle. That's something that is unique to this process. Here I am working on the hair in this portrait, but I'm using some thread that is shiny and is a slightly darker color than the hair color, so it stands out. The strands of hair are now not painted, but rather these little strands flying away are stitched. Now that it's done, it's a chance to take a look at all the colors that I have added to this already colorful painting. And when I flip over to see the substrate, all that work is evident across the back. And when I flip it over and look at the front of the painting, it really is completely transformed.